Hello to everyone at home. Today, we have the pleasure of chatting with a woman who I greatly admire for her dedication to cancer advocacy. Her name is Mirela Kopier, and her work has driven her to become a holistic cancer coach.
Today, we get to talk to her about exactly what a holistic cancer coach is and does, and the vital role that they can play with patient advocacy. We'll also have the chance to talk to her about some of the questions that you submitted to us via Instagram.
Welcome, Mirela.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Mirela Kopier, and I am a certified holistic cancer coach.
What are the defining differences between holistic and standard cancer coaching?
Believe it or not, there can be all different kinds of specialties for cancer coaches. So personally, just because of my personal experience, I looked for a certification that was more on the holistic side. So more alternative remedies, herbal treatments. Some cancer coaches prefer just being a standard cancer coach and walking the patient through whatever medical procedures they have. As a cancer coach, we are not medical professionals. We are not nutritionists, dietitians. We provide resources. And what we do is what I'd like to say that we do is we're organizers. So we're going to organize your cancer journey as much or as little as you want us to. And it's really based on the patient. You know, when you get that kind of diagnosis, it can be overwhelming. Cancer coach is there to really say, okay, let's put together a to-do list.
Well, that being said, how do you see the role of self-advocacy impacting a cancer patient's journey and outcome?
I think it's crucial. We should be our biggest advocate, and cancer is no different. If a treatment's not working for you, if a medical professional, you're not gelling with, go find somebody else. And you're allowed to do that.
Let's see, we have a couple of questions from some of our Instagram followers.
So our first one is coming from Erin Murray 16, and she asks, when is the best time to start working with a cancer coach?
Of course, at the beginning of diagnosis, because you're getting so much information and it's such huge news, it would be great to do that research, but maybe your head is not quite wrapped around it. Sometimes you need it after you get that cancer free. So I think whenever you're ready or whenever you need that person to kind of guide you, that's when you should call a cancer coach.
That makes perfect sense.
And then I have a question from Lil Mac 7. And the question is, and it ties perfectly in, do cancer coaches work with caregivers, supporters, or just the person going through cancer treatment?
That really depends on the cancer patient. Not to say that a caretaker or supporter couldn't give a cancer coach a call and say, I have my own journey, and they do, by all means. Caregivers and supporters do have their own journey. But as far as involving them with a particular patient, it's really up to the patient.
So our next question is coming from Ellen Marr 13, who submitted, what does a coaching session entail?
So the first session is probably the most tedious for the cancer patient. There's a lot of questions that a cancer coach should ask and get answers to, from the logistics of how old are you? What's the diagnosis? What treatments have you gone through? That type of thing. But also, what does your family life look like? What does your everyday look like? How do you sleep? What's your diet? Nutrition, exercise, those things. And what do you also think about those things?
Sounds good. At Things I Actually Like. Great handle, by the way. And the question is, what questions should I ask my oncologist during my first few appointments?
That's a lengthy list. So another job of the cancer coach is to make your appointments with all your other medical professionals and anybody else as efficient as possible. So you really want to sit there and brainstorm, okay, what do I want to know? What are the treatments? What if I don't like that treatment? So as far as the questions that you ask, again, it's individual, it's based on the patient, but that's also something a coach can really work with you. And, my appointment.
To tailor them.
Yep, exactly.
I also love the accountability that a coach brings up. Mirela, thank you so much for joining us. It was most informative.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
That was a great interview. And I think it really brings up a good point. That is, the role of the empath is super important. And I believe that the cancer coach kind of plays that role, especially in the beginning of a cancer journey.
Yes, I could not agree more. And if you're interested in learning more about Mirela or getting in touch with her, please check out the links below.
And don't forget, issue 9 just launched, and it actually features a great article on Mirela and cancer coaching. So make sure to check it out.